This is one of the few opportunities where fashion gets to take the world stage and celebrate creativity that doesn't have to sell for the lowest possible price. Hi, I'm Kirsten Schoonmaker. I'm teaching faculty at Syracuse University in the College of Visual and Performing Arts. I teach in the School of Design in Fashion Design. And today, we're going to talk about fashion. How did fashion begin, and why are humans so captivated by it? I think that humans are an incredibly visual species. Fashion gives us an opportunity to adapt our identity to belong to a group or to stand out as an individual. And so it's this fundamental drive to define who we are in our social settings. So that's a short answer to a lot of questions. How do events like the Met Gala impact the fashion industry and pop culture? This is one of the few opportunities where fashion gets to take the world stage and celebrate creativity that doesn't have to sell for the lowest possible price. It's an incredibly important spotlight that gets recirculated through kind of social media channels and through the internet that increases the range and impact of creativity in fashion today. That was even better. When does a garment cross the line from well-made to a true work of art, and who gets to decide? When it comes to garments, there's a synergy between material construction and silhouette. As for who decides, I think it's a really complex network of institutions, cultural influencers, media that decide what particular values are promoted at any given point in time. I think we can find objects that are meaningful and beautiful that don't necessarily meet that threshold in this particular moment. That's not to say that in 20 years we might not have a different answer. Next question. How does fashion reflect cultural, social, and political shifts? I actually want to push back on this a little bit and say that fashion is not just a passive reflection. Fashion drives cultural, social, and political shifts. We'll see changes in fashion silhouettes long before we see it come into legislation or into broad social acceptance. So fashion anticipates, promotes, and creates changes in values in society. How do fashion trends develop? I think that fashion trends emerge when they express a satisfying resolution to a human need. So if I think about the contemporary trend toward minimalism or simple materials, I think it's a response to the overstimulation that we're getting from our social media. A response to that fits with what people are craving emotionally might be a simplified color palette, a simplified line on the body. It's also an opportunity to think about the values that are expressed and what are the materials that are being used. And that's where I think, working with historic costume and working within a costume collection can help give us a tangible, tactile experience of what different qualities of material look like. Because if we're always wearing clothing that's cheaply made and quickly produced, we don't know how to tell better stories. But if we can look and think about what are the tools available to us as fashion designers, I think we can craft a different narrative about the value of what we put on our bodies. Thanks for chatting with me about fashion today. I hope that you get the idea that any story that you care about, fashion is a part of it.